Today I'm going to be making pulled pork. Get a lot of questions about how I make my pulled pork, and I first need to be very honest, this is not my recipe. I got it from the barbecue pit stop. I've maybe modified a couple things, but it is a great recipe and is really simple, and I can't emphasize that. So I'm going to show you how to do everything. We're going to use some all-star seasoning. We've got Swamp Boys Bootleg Red. We're also going to use some brown sugar and some butter. We're going to need a tin pan, and that'll probably be it. I'm going to fast forward through most of it, but we're going to trim it and walk you through the steps of how to make this. Here we go. When it comes to trimming, people ask me how much fat to leave on there, and my approach has always been to get as much of it off as possible, because it just hasn't seemed to do me any good. And then if you leave it on there, you'll end up having to take it off when you cook it anyways, at least in my opinion, if you want the best tasting pieces, because fat on pork is not tasty. So we are going to find and eliminate as much fat as possible. This is a bone in. I often get the Costco ones that don't have the bone, and I will practically separate the two pieces of the pork butt when I have the non-bone version. So when it comes to fat, if you're doing it like me, you're going to cut out as much as possible. Seek and destroy. When it comes to like you're battling a little bit of fat and trying not to cut the meat off, don't get too particular about it. This stuff will fall apart once we're all done. So you don't need to spend tons of time trying to get a little bit of meat. I tend to get a little too picky sometimes at this stage, and I have to remind myself it all comes apart easily later. But the bigger stuff we can get, and just get it out of the way so it doesn't gobble up seasoning. Let the meat get all our seasoning. Okay, we've got it to a point where I feel like we have enough fat off. I'm not worried about the rest. And the bone, don't worry about the bone. We're not going to worry about that until we're all done. It's going to slide right out. It'll be very satisfying. This one was a pretty healthy pig, didn't have too much fat. Now I'm going to use our all-star seasoning, and we are going to lather this thing up. In terms of how much, I'm pretty liberal with it, but this was not full. It was mostly empty when I started, so don't think that I just emptied one and I'm on to another one. But I do cover it really well. Alrighty, we got lots of seasoning on there. I'm gonna throw it on a plate. I'm gonna be cooking 2 of these, so I'm gonna pause the video while I prep another pork butt, and then we'll pick it up when we go out to the smoker. You don't really need to let the seasoning sit on pork. Sometimes I let it sit for 30 minutes, but we're gonna cook this so slow it's not gonna be a problem. I'm gonna move this over to a plate. Alrighty. We're gonna prep one more, pick it up from there. Next step is nothing fancy. We're just going on the smoker. Just like that. You notice my smoker is not even on right now. That's because I do this really slow. I'm gonna turn it on now. We're gonna turn it on to about 180 to 200 degrees. You can really do anything between 180 and 220. And we're just gonna go slow until the probe hits anywhere between 155 and 165. There's a lot of leeway there. Like usual on my big meats, I do this at night. I'm gonna turn this on, go to bed, hope that it smokes for like 6 or 7 hours before it hits temperature, and then we'll pull it off. So the next part is just low and slow and watch your meat probe. So the probe hit temperature, about 155 on them, and it took about 6 hours, which is what I would expect. These are about 7 pounds, and it's usually around an hour per pound, maybe a little bit less. There's kind of a crust to these. It might be hard for you to see, but typically that's what I'm looking for. Is I want it to be not juicy on the outside. I like to see that there's a crust. This one, it's got a little bit more juice than I like, but I still like overall the juice I'm getting. So I'm going to move these into my tins, and then we're going to take these inside and dress them for the oven. We have the meat inside where it's not freezing. I always like to double check my probe because I don't always trust one probe. Oh yeah, 159. That one got up to 162. Very good, right where we want it. The next couple steps are very simple. we're going to add our swamp boys. We're going to add some butter and some sugar and then cover. With the swamp boys, I typically want to do 1 ounce per pound of meat, maybe a little less. So like in this case, these are 7 pounds. I'm gonna do about 6 ounces of the swamp boys. This stuff is proof that you just never know what seasoning is gonna get it done, because this stuff smells like death. Now we're gonna slice some butter. I'm gonna probably do half a stick for each one and just place them wherever, all around. As you can see, the butter starts melting and sliding off. It's not a big deal. Now, going to just drizzle some brown sugar on here. I don't really have a measurement for this. I just kind of feel it out, but I guess if I was making an assumption, I'm doing anywhere between probably around 1/2 cup in the end. I'll just try and get it all over. Next up, cover with tin foil. The main reason we do this is keep the moisture in, and I don't want my crust to get any harder. I don't want it to be really tough. And now that we have that done, we're into the oven. So we no longer need the smoker. Once your meat's covered, smoke doesn't do you any good. And it just makes a mess of your pan. So I'm gonna put it into the oven, just like this, and then switch to my just Amazon oven probes that I bought. Okay, porky's all nestled up, ready to go. It's gonna probably take another hour per pound, most likely. I'm cooking at 225, and we'll see how long it takes, but I'm taking it up to 203 degrees is when I'm gonna pull it out of there. And it's low and slow again, just waiting for 203. This next part's very simple. The meat hit the temperature of 203 degrees, so we just need to pull it out. And we're gonna let it rest. I already pulled the other one out. I like to put it on the counter and let it sit with some towels on it so it can absorb the juices and also cool off, because it's way too hot to shred right now. Our cook time so far is 18 hours deep. That's pretty normal for this. Time to take a look at our pork butt here. We finally get a look at it. Everything's done, it's cooled down. We're gonna take off the tin foil and get to shredding it. There's nothing fancy about this step. I'll fast forward through it, but I'll still let you watch me shred it in case that's something you want to see. Satisfying part right now is we gotta pull the bone out, and it will just slide right on out because we cooked it properly. Then I just take the pieces out and I set them on a plate, and I separate the fat, and I shred it with my fingers. I know there's the claws. I even have the claws. I just always kind of enjoy doing it with my fingers. Kind of therapeutic, I guess you could say. So I'm going to pull everything out. I'm going to shred it, and then I'll show you the next step after that. We'll fast forward through everything. All the fat has been extracted. That was my fat pile right there. And here's the meat. Last step that we need to do is now we season it. And the way I season it is, I probably do this about 3 times. Is I'm going to season it and then stir it and then season it. And what I'm looking for is, as I stir it, once I can start to see the seasoning on all the little pieces, like I'll try and show you a little bit. Like right now, if I hold up a chunk of this stuff, you really don't see anything except just the meat, the color of the meat. And when we get done, if I take a little sample, we're going to want to see little specks of seasoning. And we're just using the same seasoning. It's the All-Star seasoning that we used at the very beginning. You can use a different seasoning if you want. I've tried many. I'm telling you what, this stuff, it is the one that gets the best results. Okay, now if I grab a random piece, I'm seeing seasoning specks on it. So it looks like the seasoning has gotten pretty thoroughly spread throughout. Now, we don't eat it now. I mean, you can. There's nothing that will, it's not bad, but one of the big fails when people have used this recipe and they'll tell me it didn't turn out as good. The first question I ask them is, when did you eat it? Did you eat it as soon as it was done, or did you eat it the next day? And they usually tell me they ate it as soon as it was done. You just put fresh seasoning and you need that to be absorbed into the meat. So we're gonna put some tin foil on this. We're gonna put it in the fridge. We're gonna wait. We're gonna put it in the oven during church tomorrow. When we come back after church, this is gonna be super perfect and delicious. Time for tin foil. Look how pretty. Into the fridge it goes. I will show you what I do tomorrow when I put it in the oven. There's nothing other than I just put it in the oven at 200 degrees and let it sit in there for 2 or 3 hours. But that's it for today. Into the fridge we go. Now it's the following morning. Got my little pan pulled out of the fridge. We're about to go to church, so I'm gonna slide this in. Got the oven on at 190. Just gonna let this sit in there for like 3 hours, be ready for lunch once we get back. Well, here we are, about 36 hours later from when we started. Beautiful. Looks just like we'd expect. Let's get a little close up here of our finished product there. That's some good pulled pork. When it comes to sauce, I usually don't even eat this with sauce, but two that I'd recommend right now, sauces kind of move around. Blues Hog Champion Blend is really good. And then Meat Mitch Womp. I'll put a picture of that up. That's a classic, one of the best there is. Okay, go make some pulled pork. Hope it helps. Hope you love it. Hope that you're making pulled pork for days.